Welcome to All Things Chiropractic.
Well, welcome to another episode of All Things Chiropractic. I'm Paul Andrews.
I'm Dr. Mark Davini, and with us we have the pleasure of attorney Jennifer Herlihy. Some of you may know her. I'm sorry if you do.
I was going to say,
doesn't mean for a good reason.
I was going to say, Jen, most people that know her, probably the circumstances weren't the best, right?
But I will say this, if you don't know her, she is one of those champions behind the scenes that we should all be grateful is on our side. So welcome, attorney Herlihy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we always ask, give us your 2-minute bio, someone who doesn't know you.
Sure.
The highlights.
A big fan of your podcast. Listen all
Thank
the
you.
time.
Thank
So
you.
I agree with 99% of everything you say. Let's put that.
Well, we're
And
going to
you
focus on that
disclaimer.
1% today, I can tell you right now.
That's more than Paul and I agree with each other.
Exactly. Fair point.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Had to get the heck out of there. Came up to Boston University when I was 17 because we were poor and they gave me a lot of money. I would never get in nowadays, I'll tell you that. Stuck around in Boston because I love the city, and someone told me that maybe I should go to law school. So that's what I did, and ended up really liking the trial advocacy portion of it. So I worked for an elevator defense firm. Those are some stories.
I know. I
Oh.
gotta say, I have to say it. It had its ups and downs. Go ahead.
Yeah. Wow.
All I can say is if you're in a hydraulic elevator, stand to the sides, okay? And then
Good to know.
I worked on with a hospital where there'd been an issue, and so she said, "You want to come do this medical malpractice?" And I said, "I have absolutely no idea. Like, I'm not a doctor." And she said, "No one is. You learn the case through your experts." And how interesting. And my mother was an LPN for 42 years, which should explain a lot to you, Dr. Davini and Paul, who know me, because they eat their young, and they do, nurses. So that's why I did the defense side, and love doing the civil trial stuff. And also, there's a board component that most insurance companies help you out with an endorsement on that. And I've been doing that work for a really long time. I don't like the work because I don't have as much I can't really affect the outcome as much as I can in a jury trial, but it's super interesting work, and obviously that's how a lot of people unfortunately might know me.
But, you know, we always say it too, right? I mean, unfortunately, the board is whether or not it violated the reg or the law, and it doesn't matter, and nothing else matters. But then with malpractice, it's simply whether you did or did not do it. So there's a lot more grace there. I feel anyway. Whenever I'm working with you, I agree. Malpractice is way more defensible.
Yeah, I like grace. Well, it's just money. It's not your
Yeah.
it's not your licensure and reputation, which is
Yeah,
so
exactly.
well.
Yeah. But you chose to work with chiropractors also. So I know you work with all the health professionals when it comes to malpractice itself and defense instead of plaintiff work, which is great for us and bad for everyone else. But why chiropractic?
Yeah, so it's really even more of a niche than even medical malpractice. And I was just lucky enough, my mentor, Sig Adler, already had an established relationship with NCMIC, which is or was certainly at the time one of the biggest chiropractic insurers. So I got to meet their great staff, and then I was added to the panel. So I kind of like got born into it, if you will, through the family. But I work with I think all of the chiropractic insurance companies in Massachusetts, and all of them are excellent and very lucky for the chiropractors to have that coverage.
I thought you were going to say, because there's so much work in chiropractic malpractice.
You know, there's not actually. It's
Sentinel.
good news, bad news, right? Oh, when I started 25 years ago, it was a lot more smaller cases. It was rib fracture. It was burns. It was the CA's made a mistake or something like that. And then over the years, unfortunately, it's really because the cases are so expensive to bring on behalf of the patient, it's really become about strokes, right? Or a really serious catastrophic failure to diagnose an aneurysm that led to death. So it's the much more serious cases that we see. And the board has really also transitioned away from what we were saying about, relying on IMEs and overutilizations and one person's opinion over another. I think one year I opened, and I'm not joking, it was something like 60 cases or 70 cases in 1 year.
I remember that time.
You
It
remember
was
that
like,
year?
Wow.
oh,
Yeah,
I mean, we were bored to death,
Bored
we
to
were.
death.
And now
Yeah.
it's probably,
Name names, Jen. Name
yeah,
names. I'm
oh,
just kidding.
yeah, the list I
I already
have.
know them.
Oh,
Never
can
mind.
we talk?
Are you allowed to curse on this podcast? Because the
Yeah.
title of my book
Yeah, go ahead.
is gonna be Making Chicken Salad Out of Chicken S.
Yes, yes.
No, I would say now most of the cases, at the board, unfortunately, again, much more serious allegations of inappropriate touching, but much more infrequent. So,
And we see that even across the country. I mean, it's not just
I'm
Massachusetts.
sorry, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and Rhode Island,
yeah,
you're
Rhode
right,
Island, New
nationwide.
Hampshire, Vermont. I mean, but even other cases across the state. I mean, it's
Sure.
just board has become the touchy-feely of complaints, really.
Yeah, I'm only licensed in Rhode Island and Mass, but even my firm, Connecticut, New Hampshire, all New England, like you said, and I talk to colleagues nationwide through my network, and they're seeing the same thing. But
But you know
Cross
I
what's
still go to a
profession.
chiropractor. Do
Yeah.
you want that part?
yes.
Yeah. It's across
Give her a shout out.
professions too, when we
Right,
did
you
that
have to. I mean, my
episode.
god, I've seen the bags you lug around.
Yeah. Right.
So true. And now add shoveling, to anyone that's
Oh, yeah.
suffering through this, so
That's for sure, that's for sure. What's interesting too is that a lot of people might have a whole different perception of trials.
Mm.
Because you watch on TV and it seems like everything happens in an hour, and then I think some of my personal experiences with you and others was like, "Oh my god, this is all hurry up and wait," you know? So,
Sure.
give us a little insight into your feelings about trials.
Um, okay. They're terrifying. So
Yeah.
Wait
I
a
can
minute.
talk a big
You're gonna
game.
be defending me, and I wanna hear that from you.
Well, I'm Scottish background, you're gonna get the truth. So,
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
the good news is the best you can hope for is a really good jury and that's gonna just listen, and then it relies upon the excellent experts I have. But, my most recent trial was a month long, and, it was actually it's the prep work, right? It's the making sure you have the top experts and your client is so prepared so that when you go in front of them, you've done the best job you can, and that the jury generally, we don't try cases unless I should be trying it, right?
Mhm.
I have excellent experts and, we feel like it's defensible and we think a jury's gonna agree with us, but you just never know. But yeah, terrifying, I guess. I'm well prepared is really better, the better word than terrifying, but,
Where
depending
in
on
law
some of the
school
cases.
do they give you the crystal ball?
They're exactly right. I'm
Is
a
it
lawyer, not a
true
magician.
is
That's
it
the
That's
other
true
right.
that
difference.
you don't ask questions in trial that you don't know the answer to? Is that
Unless you are either really, really good or really, really bad. Because you should never when I ask questions, I know the answer because I have a transcript from another state or something like that. But I only the top attorneys that think that they can actually get what they want from an outside kind of source, we generally don't ask for because it can go really badly. I've
You
seen
know,
it. I've
What's
seen it.
some of the fun I've seen in trial, I've watched it with you. It's like when you see something where you ask a question and it's like 20 questions away from where you're going,
Yeah,
but
it's like a
you're
game of
laying
chess.
this and my image in my head is always me standing on the edge of the shore casting my line, you know,
That's a good
and then
way.
all of a sudden it's hooked, and I watch you just bring these people right to the point where the hammer comes down.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the way we, design it, but,
Mm,
yeah, I have also a game of chess, right? Like, you're
mm,
thinking about the move that's 10 ahead, but I have to lay the foundation that you're a
mm.
liar, and I know that because I have a transcript where you said something, and I kind of yeah, we
Don't look at me
build
when you
up.
say that.
What's that?
Yeah,
Don't look at me when you say that.
yeah.
Yeah.
She looked right at you too. It was weird.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
no, it's
Just
definitely
kidding.
the other side. Definitely the other
Oh, no, she was looking at me. Sorry.
That's it, yeah.
How do you,
Oh.
when you're vetting jurors, how do you vet them and try to pull out if they have any bias against chiropractors or
it's a standard question that we ask in, the voir dire. Every judge that I've ever been in front of has allowed at least, 1 or 2 questions, and you'd be surprised. Just as many people come up and say, "I can't be on this jury because I think they're witch doctors," and 10 to 1, they've never been to one, right?
right?
Mhm.
And then you've got the other ones that say, "I love my chiropractor. There's no way that I could think that they would hurt somebody. I will never be able to be on the side of the patient." And those are the people that have been to one. It's definitely that percentage. But
Wow.
they have to ask that question for a fair jury. Yeah.
What's your
Wow.
opinion of these billboards that you sometimes see, out especially out in the western part of the state, that just blatantly accuse chiropractors of causing strokes?
Yeah. I would also like our chiropractors to stop posting videos on
Oh,
TikTok and other forums.
Are
we
you
talked
talking
about
about the
that in the
ring
last.
dinger?
I I'm
Yeah,
not gonna name any names,
yeah,
but there's
doesn't help.
just the other side of that is, social media or billboards or whatever you wanna talk about. And there those few and far between cases that get national attention, either for stroke, that would be the big one, or sexual assault. I mean, the Larry Nassar, it bled down to our chiropractors as well. Everybody thought that now that I think about it, X years ago, why did my chiropractor touch me in the psoas muscle, which we all know I have a whole slide on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like any of those ads. I don't like, it's so inappropriate, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
I
and
can
my
only do
my
what I can
saying
do
was
on
always right, "A psoas is not a reason to touch."
exactly. Oh, I like that. I like that. We should have shirts made.
So when you were in law school, I like to ask attorneys this. When you were in law school, is there literally a course in school about lawyer jokes? Because not
No.
only do you seem to be lawyers immune to it, they like them for some reason.
We do like them. When we get together, we talk about our trial stories, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you can't stop us," because there's always so many funny stories. And they're even funnier when you win, of course,
Yeah, of
they're not
course.
as funny when you lose.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that I have a list, and that was, "I'm a lawyer, not a magician," is one, that an attorney told me he had to tell his client, and I actually had a shirt made, it's in my closet.
Oh,
Right, right, and I've often talked with situations with you, and sometimes you just say, "You can't fix stupid."
That is of another T-shirt that I have.
Right, right.
Also,
Sometimes people
that
say the
sounds like a
wrong
terrible
thing.
idea, what time? That's that's another one. Yeah, it's definitely something that, but it's funny because people make fun of lawyers until they need one, and
oh, yeah.
suddenly
Mhm.
suddenly I'm
Yeah.
not so funny anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like my best
sorta like
friend, right?
compliance
Yeah.
officers and
Yeah,
compliance go yeah.
and no one listens to my advice to be proactive, right? And Dr.
Yeah.
No.
Keating knows this until the board complaint comes in or until an audit or Blue Cross, and then it's like, "Oh, I was thinking about changing my billing system," or I'm like, "Well, you should have thought about that about 6 months ago," you
Yeah,
know?
right. Yeah, I
Um,
love it when they call you up or call me up or whatever, and they'll say something like, "Well, I just got this from the, some lawyer from whatever." I said, I'm looking at my records now, and I'm thinking how I could fix them."
yeah, that's the first thing, right? It's
Mhm.
so much harder to fix the lie. Like, it's better, we can fix anything but a lie is what we say because
Right.
if we made a mistake, you know,
Yeah.
that's the way it goes.
Comes comes down to whether or not you did it, not what mistake you made, in bookkeeping or
Exactly.
documentation, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
generally.
funny.
Well,
Generally
Generally.
speaking,
yeah.
yeah,
So let
yeah.
me ask you, because I'm the non-chiropractor here, just like
Yes.
you, Jen,
Yeah.
and but you intersect with them so much. How do you mitigate when somebody's, like, really stressed out and, like, they're, really, I mean, I would imagine nervous, either a board complaint or a malpractice?
I've got the full spectrum, right? I've got the chiropractors that won't call me back, or they let the board take action because they didn't even respond because they were just paralyzed, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean they did anything wrong. A lot of times it seems like it was something minor and they're feeling bad about it, but now all of a sudden they've lost their license because they never bothered to respond. It's a very interesting question because I do remind them that they have the right to talk to in most states, you're allowed to talk to your spouse. And also, of course, I encourage them to talk to mental health providers because most states have a statute that protects those because it's really stressful. Even when for some of them, it's almost worse when they're being accused of something they didn't do. Killed a patient, hurt a patient, or inappropriately touched a patient. I mean, these are such serious allegations. I mean, nobody wakes up in the morning, no chiropractor or massage therapist or whatever wakes up and says, I'm gonna hurt my patient today. I'm gonna commit negligence today.
Mm.
Unless they're a criminal and I don't deal with those people. So, um, And so it is a very stressful situation, and of course, it overlaps with their financial livelihood. If there's gonna be a licensure restriction, how are they gonna work? How are they gonna provide for their family? What if they get kicked off insurance panels? So a lot of my education and being a lawyer is explaining to them, I have to be truthful about the possible ramifications, but then just trying to explain to them, "We gotta compartmentalize this, we have to do what we can, and we try to move on from there." And then if I do have a criminal, I get them another attorney. So I can be helpful. I mean, I want them to have great representation, of course, and
Right.
that's I can work with that person, but I'm not gonna be able to save their license. But, that becomes those very few and far between cases, the license is really the least of their problems. They've got some real serious
And
potential.
managing their emotions it's a critical element because like
Yeah,
you said, they're
yeah.
upset. We go to school to be doctors to help people. Just the thought that I might have hurt somebody, even if I didn't do it intentionally or negligently,
Mhm.
just the thought of maybe hurting somebody is something that is frightening to the
Yeah.
average practitioner.
Yeah, no, and with the publicity and the, increase in strokes, it certainly is something that I'm sure is on the mindset, and when it
Right.
happens, they either are constantly worrying about it, and, we've had some
Mhm.
clients like this, Dr. Davini, where they're almost not adjusting as much as they should because 'cause they're so nervous, or the other way, where they're really not thinking about it, so it's but yeah.
And, the idea that they don't even know sometimes that they're doing something, we'll say just off a little bit, that it's not causing injury or whatever, but when we get into the weeds of some of these cases and you find out that, well, more than 4 words for a daily note is required. Or, not that having 4 words for a daily note is going to hurt you, but it's not going to help your case. So, I mean, people need to just be aware and know what's going on and pay attention to the things that we didn't have to pay attention to before.
And because we do have such serious cases, I'll tell you, like in terms of managing client when they're upset and frustrated, I'm like, let me tell you how happy I am that it's this. It's a herniated disc, not a death case. Not yet. Like
Right,
I do get a chance
right, right.
to put it a little bit into perspective, but I'm not going to be able to, and I won't take away. There is going to be some either embarrassment. They don't wanna and they shouldn't talk with anyone, of course, but they're kind of embarrassed they've been sued at all. And so that's where if I can get a good expert to review the case and at least say, "Hey," that at least they know that this was appropriate technique and this is just a known complication, or it happens, it certainly wasn't intentional. Like, it'll give them a little bit of solace. So I guess that's another way that I try to manage their
Mhm.
anxiety and concerns.
And, as someone who's done the expert work, when you go through a case and if your belief is really that they didn't do anything wrong, once you tell them that, you just see their shoulders come down.
Mhm.
I believe as an expert that you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
And then their shoulders come down, so it's just an interesting process for sure.
You know
So,
what's really it's on my mind? When you helped us do that, both the mock malpractice trial and the
Mm,
mock board hearing,
mm.
we still get people that are like that attended that were like, "This was the best. This was so much,"
Huh.
you know,
Well, it's
we still
reality, right? I mean, what I do like, and I do a lot of presentations, I have the benefit with transcripts and things like that and the stuff that's publicly available. We can actually show them real cases. And boy, does that it hits home for a lot of people to see how, for example, just changing a note that you think you're improving it, how it can be turned against you. And boy, if I scared one person straight, that will make me very happy.
you're a benefit to the chiropractic profession, especially when it comes to these board complaints, because being on a board, I have had attorneys represent who have no clue how board proceedings work. They're
Yes.
either criminal or
Yep.
maybe they're corporate and they're just, doing this as a favor.
I've seen it, and
And
I can't.
sometimes they actually hang the licensee
yeah,
out a little
the
bit.
tax attorney shows up at the board hearing.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's it's not good, you know? Now
I've
what
seen
about
it, I can't unfix it. That's what
that's
I
right,
tell them.
that's right.
how about how successful is a client of yours when you're prepping them, let's say, for a deposition? And then how, to me, depositions would be really, really stressful to go under. Like that's a pretty big microscope. you know?
Yeah, with an attorney who generally does this type of work, so they're usually excellent, and they'll have had an expert tell them what questions to ask. So depositions are definitely very stressful, and we prepare as best we can, assuming, okay, these are the general questions, these are the specific questions, and there's going to be 10 or so that I can't even guess, and they're going to be good. So we just again tell them, be honest, be yourself. Except actually one surgeon, I told him to be anybody but himself because he was such an arrogant ass. But, and I mean, that's one out in 26 years,
Oh, yeah,
one.
that was Doctor, what? No, I was kidding.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, if an
Yeah.
attorney hears this, they'll know who I'm talking about,
Yeah, here's the number one instruction, right? Just answer the question.
right?
No
As
more.
few words as
No
possible.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, actually. But the problem with chiropractors or everyone is that they're used to educating, so they want to help. They want to explain because that's all they do all day, and that's not, this person is suing you. So you've gotta listen to me and just just answer the question. Exactly.
There's
Exactly.
two narratives, and 12 people are gonna decide which one to believe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my
Can
god.
can depositions be more than just questions? I mean, can they be statements that they're trying to pull information out?
They'll phrase their question in a way to get the doctor to give an answer they want, right? But then at trial, they've got that answer that they can utilize because it's under oath and it's testimony, and if you don't say it again, they can impeach you with it. So they're very the attorneys that represent the patients are all very, generally very good. And, yeah, that's what it's used for
And a
trial.
lot of clients don't make that connection that what you say in a deposition can easily come back out in trial.
Mhm.
So they think they're gonna change their story in trial, and that's when I've seen you on the other side just nail them.
Yeah.
"No, but didn't you
The big
say in your
smile.
deposition?" And then you pull the
It's
transcript out.
it's it's hella awkward, when it's happening. It's very infrequent that it happens to my clients,
Right.
but, like, I just circus music starts playing in my head, and I've been trained to just keep it dun 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 dun. You just keep that demeanor like, "Yeah, of course I was expecting this. Of course I was expecting this impeachment." Yeah,
Right?
what he said. I think it was Abe Lincoln, they said, like, when it was getting worse, he would, just, like, try to take attention away from whatever's happening. I'm just like, "Yeah, of course he said that." And meanwhile, I'm going, "Oh god, this
Uh,
Now what?
are you friends with a lot of the attorneys on the other side of the table?
So it's so funny. In the beginning, when I started, one of them
Yeah.
called me annoying, and he knows who he is, and he was probably right. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but, like, I was so, like, much more adversarial, right? And then in the 26 years, it's the same people, and in some states, it's even smaller bar than others. And what ends up happening is you definitely just have more of a respect. Like they're advocating, they have an expert that has told them that my doctor made a mistake, right? And caused injury to a patient. So, of course, they're going to be coming at it from a different angle than I am. And guess what? There are cases that I need to resolve and I'm happy to resolve, right? That's what insurance is for if it's necessary. So now, I mean, I've gone golfing with a couple over the years, very few and I'm just terrible, by the way, but, it's
Hey, you're
definitely more of
Scottish, you said. You have to be good at it, don't you?
a it's definitely more of a respect just because they're just doing their best job for the patient. There's also ones that I detest, and
Yeah.
I mean, I've almost gotten into fisticuffs with a few, and then you just decide, "Okay, we'll just go to court and let the judge make a decision on this stuff." So, it's kinda nice that I have a neutral, if it comes to that, but
I
for the
don't
most
know.
part, they're pretty good,
If I'm
and
the
I
client, Jen, I would be really psyched that my attorney, you, was going almost to fisticuffs for me. I'd be like, "Yeah,
no,
that's
that's not a
right."
good day. That's not a
Not a
good
You
good
know,
day.
day.
emotionally, I feel good about it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Actually, it was more an expert that I was almost got into a fight with, but, um, it is very
Plaintiff expert.
yes. At depositions, you don't have a judge there to, to sort of to be a neutral, so
I mean, you've gotten to the point where you have to air quote the expert that's in the room. You're like,
I
"Expert?"
have there's some dialogue that's somewhere. I just asked a doctor, just a couple days ago if he was just having trouble with basic math, and
Ooh.
then he knew how much he testified he'd made in 1 year, and he'd done the same amount of work for about 20 years. So I just asked him to take the number and multiply it by 20, and he just couldn't do it. And that's when the other attorney for the other side took a break and
I
had to
bet.
step out of the room and chastised me. So that is, I thought it
Do
was
you
a
always
good
get
question.
those
Give
breaks
them a
though?
calculator. That's all. Just
This
give
is,
them a
I had a
cal.
calculator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
just
it's
didn't
like
want to give
I
me the
think of
number.
sports, right? Sometimes a well-placed timeout is helpful, but do you always get those breaks if you ask for them?
In a deposition, I have much more flexibility. At trial, it's up to the court.
Yeah.
And
So
and
You know what
guess
I
what?
love about trial, though, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but unlike a lot of different things where there's always gray, what's nice about a trial is you win or you lose.
Hmm.
It's an outcome that only has basically 2 variations. We're gonna win
It's true.
or we're
Yep.
gonna lose.
Yep.
And that piques my competitive spirit more than anything else. I don't like draws. I don't like, no giving a trophy just for participation, so
It's I know what you're saying. I mean, it is a jury verdict slipped. Did Dr. Smith, was he negligent in his chiropractic care? Yes or no? That, and then did he cause the injury? Yes or no? And then how much? That's what every trial breaks down to.
Right,
Yeah.
and that kinda makes trial work so much different than a lot of other types of decision-making processes.
Well, most legal work is negotiation, right? Everything
Mhm.
can be negotiated. That was one of my friends who does real estate transactional work. That's what she tells people when they come for the first day of work in that profession. Every term is negotiable, down to everything, you know, down to the negotiation of the contract in the future, right? We can make that
Yeah,
negotiable.
negotiating negotiations, yeah.
Exactly, but you're right, trial work is just a verdict slipped, and that's it, so
Yeah.
that's why it's terrifying.
Is
It is
there is
terrifying because you do your best work, you do your best for your client, and you sit there waiting for the person to read their judgment of you.
Yeah. Oh, I say I should get paid combat pay. The worst time is sitting waiting for them, well, when they're in the jury and when there's a verdict, and every courthouse is different, knock on the door, bell rings, light switch goes off, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
You, like, bringing them, and sometimes the judge is like, "We're at lunch. We'll get them at after X," and you're like, "I'm dying every second of this day."
You want me to eat something and then come back and go through that?
well, it's almost
They
like yeah,
yeah,
we just watched the Olympics. I watched a lot of it. Imagine like you perform and then you have to wait till after lunch for your score.
exactly.
No,
It's
thank you.
no, thank you. That's a
It's
good
also
point.
scary having been on a few juries myself.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I say, I can't believe these people are deciding somebody's fate. No offense.
I've gotten to talk to a few juries after before they, every state's different and they change the rules sometimes, and why they found certain things. I was like, "Oh my god." Even though they might have gotten it right for my client, they
Yeah.
didn't understand the basic premise, and we were there for 3 weeks. So, you're right. Like, one of my partners will say they usually will get it right, but it's how they got there, right?
Oh,
And
scary.
then when you hear of, like, a
Minus
mock that's
12. Yeah.
or the numbers, if you try to just, round table or you do like a mock or you try to ask people, the way people throw away money right now, yeah, "Oh, well, worth 1,000,000 or this," like, it could be an injured finger, and they're like, $1,000,000. I'm like, "What's happening? What
Because they want the
why?"
million if it was them, right?
Right.
Right. That it's
Yeah.
definitely very much become a different culture, so,
Wow.
Well, this is really fun, and we could do this for about 4 hours, but
yeah. I was
I
gonna
know.
say, am I talking? I'm probably talking
no,
So
too
oh my
much.
god, we could just do it
we like
forever.
to ask this
Yeah.
to some of our guests. What advice, if any, would be the highlights for you to give any doctor out there listening to this going, hey, she's an expert, clearly?
Besides not dating a former, current, or future patient, right? That's the
Yeah, that's a given. That
it's a
one's given.
given.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if that's a given, but that's good
I
I
advice.
know.
say, and I say this to my associates as well, be proactive, in your education, in your compliance, like, how can you be anything you do to be proactive and better your practice and make sure that you're compliant with whatever state regulations, do more. And we always say that about documentation, more is more. Like, so if you just kind of keep that theory, with the basics of the no criminal and no touching. I mean, really, just in your everyday practice, everyone thinks you're doing just fine. You're probably a great practitioner and you're helping people, so you don't think about when something goes wrong. So just making sure that you are proactive in everything, education, compliance, regulation, then it just protects you. Sometimes these petty board complaints will come in. And it'll show that their billing or their record keeping isn't great. And I say, great, we're going to get this, we're going to work to get this dismissed, but use this as an opportunity to better your practice. If you had written X, Y, and Z, we would have been in a better shape. Or if you hadn't billed that code, or if you had taken the CE as you're required to. So that would be my suggestion, because when they come in, when I do have the cases where they got the audit letter and they're all set, they already had their records looked at. They have compliance plans or whatever. They have monitors. They do so proactively. They can feel good about getting that letter. And I remember one of my clients, he was actually put on probation for records. And when he came back, I don't know if it was Dr. Devine or someone else, he actually was almost grateful about the 6 months because he actually learned so much and he felt confident going forward.
Well,
And
then
luckily, nobody was hurt, so it was like one of these things. So that's what I would say.
That's good
and
advice.
that's excellent. I mean, and it's so true. Looking back is not the same as looking forward.
Right.
So,
And Mark and I always say, if you get that letter or that email or that call, reach out to your malpractice insurance first and do not change your note.
You can keep saying it.
Yeah.
Because
never change your. Everybody thinks, oh, it's electronic. I'll just change it. They'll never know, except for the change log that shows up in your computer and everybody knows about. So
it's actually worse with the EMR than it used to be. It used to be handwriting experts and different color ink or, the timing of the notes. But now I have an EMR stamp that says amended on X date. So I've had those cases.
What?
I'm stuck, So that's what I would say.
Wow, this has been
thank
a
you.
treat. I really
I don't know.
on
I don't know
forever.
about that, but
No, it
edit
has.
out anything
Yeah.
stupid I
I'd
said.
say we could do this for
Yeah.
all day.
And I think we should plan another mock trial or board thing in the future because people really enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
Oh, it
I
was fun.
enjoyed it.
My
Yeah.
wife
I haven't-
enjoyed it.
I mean,
She
I've
was the
had
one who was
MT.
the playing the accused. I
Yeah,
mean,
she played the victim really well, your wife.
played the victim really well. Yeah.
But she's
Really
really
well. Too
trained in
well.
that, Mark, as your wife for some reason.
I've also had MT massage therapy. I mean, every board has cases, nursing, all that, where, they're all very, I don't know if MTs require continuing education in every
They
state.
do now in
Oh,
Massachusetts.
ba-boom, yeah.
Oh,
3 hours every year.
how many?
3, I know. That's another
Um,
story offline for that. But
Yeah, no, and that's it. 3 is better than 0, I guess.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Although the
Uh,
profession doesn't seem to resonate with that comment at all. I don't know why.
No, it's definitely, you can always learn something out of CE, so happy to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
We
for that. I
appreciate
appreciate.
that.
Yeah, it's really fun. So again, thank you so much for being
Okay.
with us, Jen. We appreciate it
Thank
very
you.
much.
Sure.
And thank you out there for listening to another episode of All Things Chiropractic. I'm Paul Andrews.
I'm Dr. Mark Devine, and
Me? Jen
Yes,
Herlihy.
you.
Woo. Thanks for having me.
got
thank you.
Thanks for listening to All Things Chiropractic. We'd love to hear from you. Visit allthingschiropractic.com with comments, episode ideas, or questions. Or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at All Things Chiropractic Podcast. Be sure to join Dr. Mark Devine and Paul Andrews next time for another episode of All Things Chiropractic.